Right, I said it. Truly, folks, we all know it. Not all of the elected leaders in Washington are guilty of corruption. And I make this statement knowing full well that they do have to get along at some point and to some degree, because how else would they get any work done and any new legislation signed in to help the American people? Which these days, really not too much is getting done, is it? Regardless of which way you sit, okay? I wanted you to take a look at this clip now that has been pretty much going viral since it broke yesterday. It's Senator Lindsey Graham. He got a little extra friendly with Senator Kamala Harris. You'll see this. Here we go. Nice little fist bump. Nice little pat on the back. That was on the floor of the Senate yesterday. Right there, that's Senator Coons talking to Senator Harris. We'll see it one more time. She actually brings it up first, looks like. Little fist bump, little pat on the back. Now, again, I get they have to work together, and that if, in fact, once we get to the bottom of this election, there is a President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, which we don't know yet, then I get that Senator Graham and other senators will have to work with them to get things done for the American people. But I don't understand how Senator Graham goes on Fox News and other programs supporting the president and then fist-bumping Kamala Harris. All right, so joining me next, a guy who knows quite a bit about getting attacked online by the extreme left and some election interference and fraud, Mississippi State Senator Chris McDaniel. Senator, thanks for joining us on the program. We appreciate it. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
So I love that our United States senators were firing up those boys on social media yesterday, Mr. Dorsey and Mr. Zuckerberg, for their ridiculous way they handle conservative voices on their platforms. My producers and I were looking up some of the attacks you've been going through just recently. So let me start off this interview by asking you, so we can get this all out there. Sir, are you a racist?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But if I look on Twitter, they say you are.
Well, here's the thing. That word has been thrown around so often, so frequently, it's lost its meaning. And you know what it means, basically? It means I'm not a socialist. It means I don't agree with a liberal agenda. So they have to come up with a label, and that's the label they utilize, unfortunately.
Yeah, they sure do. You've had BLM folks protesting you, making all kinds of accusations online about your candidacy when you were running for office there, and then even more coming out in the last week or so because you've been very vocal. You've been a supporter of the president. You've been a vocal supporter of recounts and audits during this election. Tell folks out there just some of the heat and nonsense you've been taking the last couple days.
You know, it's really simple stuff. We have to fight. If we value the country, we value the institutions, we value this president, we value conservative thought, the idea that we would keep compromising and surrendering and giving up our God-given rights to the American left, that has to end. And so what happens is when you take strong principle positions, the American left, they really can't debate with logic. That's not their primary mode. What they do is debate with emotion. It's name-calling. It's defamatory conduct. It's really all they've got. But that means we have to hit them that much harder. The idea that we retreat from the field of battle at this stage, that has to be put aside. We owe it to our children. We owe it to our founding fathers to fight for what's left of this country. And we can't do that constantly in retreat. So look, I'm okay with the name calling. I'm okay with the attacks. I'm here to fight, bottom line.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you standing up. We need more folks, more patriots that want to stand up for this country and for the values that we have cherished for centuries. Let's talk about the fraud. It's there. We know it. I am disgusted every single minute since the 3rd of this month watching the mainstream media and Democratic leaders say that it doesn't exist, or they'll downplay it and say, well, it's so small it doesn't matter. My producers tell me you've got some experience with voter irregularity and fraud in an election down there in your state.
Yeah, quite a bit. I'm going to tell you, without question, fraud happens. Criminal conduct happens. Irregularities happen. When the Democrats say otherwise, they're just not being honest. And the reason they're not being honest is almost every time it's the Democrats taking advantage of the irregularities. So look, the bottom line here is, what's the rush to certify? The president believes there is fraud that's been committed. He believes irregularities have taken place. Let him do his investigation. If he finds the fraud, which I believe he will, then he will be entitled to relief. If he doesn't find the fraud, then fine. But the idea that we have to just accept CNN's word or accept MSNBC's word and certify this election, that's nonsense. Let the investigation proceed.
Well, we've seen 4 years of MSNBC and CNN's reporting. And I mean, if anybody just would open their eyes, remove what you just said at the beginning of the interview, remove their emotions.
That's right.
And put this on. Put your brain cap on, not your heart cap. And just look at what they've done for 4 years against this president and the lies they have perpetrated and social media, how they've gone onto it. They would see. And to your point, it is just fair to allow the president to go through the legal process to see and make sure this was a fair and free legal election. State Senator Chris McDaniel, we appreciate you joining the show. Keep up the fight.
Yes,
and it
sir.
sounds like you better stay safe.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yep, take care. All right, folks, don't go away. Coming up after the commercial break here, actor Kevin Sorbo joining us to discuss some new films he's got out that are faith-based and very inspiring. You don't want to miss it. We're back in 2.